Hello and welcome to the live coaching classes, and hope you're all doing well and you're all practicing. So today we are taking up a very important chapter of the statistics portion, and that is probability. So once again, wishing all of you very good afternoon, and I hope all of you are set to start with our session. Now, this is a chapter which is very interesting, and quite a number of questions usually come from this chapter. So this chapter we are going to cover in two sessions. So first is today we are taking up part 1, and tomorrow we shall be taking up the remaining part, which is part 2. Now the probability chapter, first we will deal with...
Chakravarti, sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
Good afternoon, and I would like to add one more thing to this section. Recently, we had in our capsule also last month, it was published a probability good number of questions are also. Please kindly inform to this.
Right. Okay, sir. Okay. So let me also share with you that it was published recently in the Institute's newsletter and in the other publications that quite a good number of questions are expected from this chapter. And please note that this chapter we are covering in two parts. Today we are taking up the first part where we are going to discuss about the definition, the concept of probability. Probability is something which we always find in each and everyday life. For example, say the probability of passing an exam, the probability that it will rain today. But then mathematically we will understand probability, and then we will have to go through certain formula. There is only one simple formula which you need to remember, but then there are certain concepts which are important for this chapter. And since we have already completed the chapter on sets, relations, and functions, you may remember the Venn diagram concept which we had used in order to solve different problems. And your understanding of Venn diagram, union of two sets, intersection of two sets, that will also be useful in this particular chapter. We also have one important section which is on conditional probability, which we shall be covering today. And tomorrow we will take up the remaining part, which will be the expectation, mathematical expectation, and understanding of different type of variables, discrete variables and continuous variables. Thereafter, we will work out several problems from the chapter end exercises. There are multiple questions which are there. We will cover many of them, and the problems and solutions to exercise 16 set ABC we shall be doing. Apart from that, many examples which are given in the study material are very beautiful examples which will help you to clear your doubts, because the questions which are there are comprehensive, different types, and they are graded from easy, moderate to advanced, and that will definitely help you in understanding this chapter much better. At the end, we will cover questions from the mock test paper. Today, we shall take up the important questions on probability chapter from mock test paper October 2020. And in tomorrow's session, we shall cover the important questions on probability chapter which have come in the March 2021 MTP and also in April 2021 MTP. So I hope you have understood the direction and the flow in which we shall be covering this chapter. And of course, this is an important chapter because it will give you the foundation based on which you will be going to the next part, which will be the different theoretical distributions like binomial, Poisson, and normal. So this is also a foundation chapter for next discussions which we will have in the statistics portion. Now, first, let us look at the overview of probability. So what is the learning objective? Now, as chartered accountants, is probability important? Yes, it is very important. In accounting, in audit, and in finance, you will find later on in your IPCC and final levels that the probability calculation takes up a very, very important part of our syllabus. And also in CF, IPCC and final, when you deal with financial management, you will find the applications of probability. So here, for example, chartered accountants use this concept in developing financial forecasting. What is the probability that a company will continue to have higher profits? What is the probability that the share price of a particular company will reach so and so level? Now, all of you must have seen so many IPOs have come in the stock market this year, right? Number of companies are issuing shares. So what is the probability that the share price of one particular company will reach, say, 500 rupees, 1000 rupees in the next 3 months? So everything is about probability and mathematical calculation. So first of all, please note, chartered accountants use this particular understanding and this concept extensively in all areas. In the banking sector, for example, probability that of say a default of a loan. Now, say a person takes a housing loan, a company takes a loan for long-term purposes, okay, long-term loan. Now, many companies are unable to repay the bank. Now, what is the probability of default? Default means unable to repay, right? So banks calculate probability of default. So first of all, you can see the application of probability in banking. Then so many frauds are taking place. What is the probability there will be a fraud in a particular company? What is the probability there will be a fraud in a particular banking, say, organization, right? What is the probability of an online fraud? So even for calculation of fraud, especially in the area of forensic audit, this particular concept is used. Then in statutory audit, now all of you know that you are reading about accounts, you are understanding trial balance and bank reconciliation statements and balance sheet, profit and loss. Now in balance sheet and profit and loss, when later on you study about audit, in audit also, we use this exact concept of probability, the exact definition of probability is used to calculate the chance, because you see probability is chance. The chance that it will rain today, the chance that you will be passing a particular exam, okay, the chance that, say, for example, India wins a particular cricket match, the chance that a share price of a company will reach so and so level. So everything is a game of chance. So probability in the audit area is also used to understand and evaluate, to calculate the chance that there is something wrong in the accounts. There is a misstatement in the financial statements. There is some error in the accounts. Now you have read about errors of omission, errors of commission, errors of principal. Okay, so there is a chance. Every company may not have the same chance of an error. So in order to find out the mistakes in audit, in order to find out calculating the errors, the chance of errors in balance sheets and profit and loss statements, there also probability is used. Then in a manufacturing company, now say you are running a manufacturing company. So you are having thousands and thousands of finished goods. Okay, you are using raw materials, you are doing processing, and then the finished goods are coming out. Now you must have certain quality specification that, okay, this particular raw material, this particular finished good must have this type of quality. Now, what is the probability that a defective material comes out? This is also important. To run a business, you need to focus on quality. You need to focus on customer satisfaction. So there also, please see that probability or the chance, calculation of chance is used. Then risk management. Like, for example, probability of a IT system failing. Even in the area of healthcare, probability that a person will suddenly contract a pandemic, like, COVID variants. So that is all about probability. Finally, the last example, of course, is very relevant for all of you, probability of success in your exam. So I'm sure all of you will be fully probable. There will be a high probability, in fact, a full probability of 1 to pass your CA foundation exam. But you can see different types and concept of probability. So definitely this chapter has wide applications and they are practical in nature. Now let us see, last one is probability of rain, weather conditions. Now you know that if there is a match going on, India versus any particular country, everyone wants to know if there is a rain, the match will be delayed, the match will be called off. Right? Even for the meteorological office, right? So they have to forecast. The weather office forecasts what is the probability of rain. And you have so many apps. You must have downloaded these apps. You are using these apps to know what is going to be the weather tomorrow. That means what is the probability of rain? What is the probability of sunny weather, and so on. Now, friends, we look at the mathematical part. So probability is simple, a very simple chapter. that probability is just, you can say that it is nothing but a game of chance. So it is, in very basic terms, it is nothing but the chance that something will happen. This something that is going to happen is called an event. We will see. Now, say I have given an example. Say you are throwing, just simple, you are flipping a coin. You have a coin, you are flipping the coin. So you can have how many possible results? Either it will be a head or it will be a tail. So there are two results. So if I ask you what is the probability that you will get a head, then you will say, okay, 50%. Why? Because there are two possibilities, head or tail. That means to get a head, the chance is 50%. That is half. Absolutely correct. Now you take a dice, like when you play Ludo and all, you have dice. So dice has 6 surfaces. So when you throw a dice, what is the chance? What is the probability that you will get, say, a score of 4? So you know that there are 6 possible ways, right? And you have already gone through the chapter of permutation and commutation. So that concept will also help you in this chapter. So you know that a die can fall in 6 ways if you throw a die. It can end up with 1 facing the top, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. So if I write here, you know there are 6 ways in which a result, a die can fall in 6 ways. And I am asking you, what is the probability that you will get a score of 4? So automatically you can say it is 1/6. Right? Now, say I'm appearing for an exam. So there is a chance of passing, there is a chance of failing. So if I am studying very hard, right, I am following all the study materials of the institute, I am following the live coaching classes, I am completing all the answers, questions and answers, I am solving the questions in the mock test paper, and I'm preparing myself slowly, gradually, then maybe I have say a 70% chance of passing. So in that case, I will write that the probability of passing the exam is 70%. That means it is 7/10. So if 70% is the chance of passing the exam, then the chance of failing in the exam is how much? 30%. So I can write the chance of failing in the exam is 3/10. So it is as simple. It's a very simple chapter, but 2 things. First of all, very interesting. And number 2, it has a wide applications, as you saw. Okay. Now, friends, when we talk about chance, there is also the possibility of something which is called certain event. Like if you see in this particular, this particular slide, which is visible to you, if we say there is a 100% chance that it is going to rain tomorrow. Say the weather officer said that looking at the current conditions, there is a 100% chance that it is going to rain tomorrow. So that means the probability becomes how much? 100%. So I will write the probability of rain. Say there is a probability of rain. I'm just drawing some clouds and say the probability of rain. Okay, say the probability of rain is 100%. So I will say that the probability 100% means it is 1. That means a certain event. Because 100% means what? 100/100. That is 1. So I can say the probability is certain. So any event which has the probability of 1 is known as a certain event. And please remember, the maximum value of probability can be 1, not more than that. Similarly, let us look at the other side. What is the probability? Say, for example, if the weather office says, I'm just giving the example of weather conditions. Now, if the weather office says that tomorrow it will be completely sunny, okay? So it is going to be completely sunny. In other words, there is a 100% chance that it will be sunny. So the probability that it will be sunny is given by 100%. That means it is a sure event. Now, if I ask you, what is the probability that it will rain tomorrow? Since you know that the probability it will be sunny is 100%, the probability of rain, PR, PS is probability of sunny, PR is probability of rainy condition. So PR is 0%. That means 0. That means the minimum value of probability is 0 and the maximum value is 1. In other words, probability in all practical cases will always be a fraction. Okay, the minimum value will be 0, the maximum value is 1. So it is a value which will range, the range will be between 0 and 1. Okay, so this is a very simple point. I think you are getting it. Now you can see that probability is defined as chance, it is defined as likelihood, and it is now an integral part of statistics. As I told you, it is a full-fledged subject. And if you see the study material in the introduction part itself, in the institute study material, it is clearly stated that it is now an integral part of statistics, and it has many names. Probability has different type of similar terms like chance, odds in favor, odds against, and likelihood. Okay, you can also say the possibility, the word possibility. What is the possibility of passing in this exam? Okay, so if I say the possibility is 50% or 60%, so this is also another term of probability. Okay, now let us see at the foundation level from the very important study material and also the institute's very, very important student newsletter. You can see there is, yeah, thank you. Many of you are responding. Yeah, Kanishka, yes, Akanksha, many of you are responding. 0, yes, thank you, 0% rain. Okay, now let us see the probability concept. So at the foundation, please note the study material. This is, I have taken this slide exactly from the study material, and it is very clearly mentioned that the probability concept is used in accounting and finance to understand the likelihood of occurrence or non-occurrence of a variable. And you can see the second line, it helps in developing financial forecasting, so that this is something which you need to develop at the advanced stage of chartered accountancy course. Okay, and therefore this chapter is included in our foundation, business mathematics, statistics, and logical reasoning. Now, who is the inventor or who discovered probability? So you might be thinking that this is such an important chapter. This is a chapter which has so much of applications, but then who is the originator of probability? So this was developed parallelly by many people. First is Laplace of France and Reverend Thomas Bayes. In fact, later on in probability, there's a Bayes theorem also. And of course, one more gentleman, that is R.A. Fisher of England. So there are many people who contributed to the theory of probability. Kolmogorov from Russia was one of them. And there is a Kolmogorov constant also, which is there in mathematics to honor this great scientist and mathematician. So many of them have worked together to develop this theory of probability. And from probability, of course, we have so many applications. So the concept is all likelihood, chance, and the first concept to understand is random experiment. So what is an experiment? Now, in the language, in the term probability, an experiment is defined to be random if the results of the experiment depends on chance only. Okay. Now, when you are throwing a coin, is it an experiment? Answer is yes, because you have two outcomes and you cannot forecast what will be the outcome specifically, because it depends on chance. When you are throwing a dice, so when you flip a coin, is it an experiment? Answer is yes. Also, if you are throwing, say, for example, a dice, it has 6 surfaces. So which surface will come to the top? Well, we can only say that the probability is 1/6, but we cannot say with certainty. It depends on chance. So therefore, it is another example of random experiment. So rolling a dice, or in a box, there are a number of colored balls, and you are just bringing out a particular ball. So there are 10 balls red color, 5 balls blue color, and another 5 balls black in color. You are randomly drawing a ball without looking at the box, without looking at the content. So whether it is going to be a red ball, a black ball, or any other color, well, that depends on chance. So this is also an example of random experiment. Similarly, if you consider a pack of cards, now there will be some problems on cards. Now there are spade, hearts, okay, different type of, you'll find different type of sign on cards to indicate the nature of the card. So playing card. Now, if you're trying to say a well shuffled pack of cards, 52 cards are there, if you're just bringing out a particular card randomly. So drawing a card from a pack, well, that is also an example of random experiment. So multiple examples: coin, throwing of a coin, throwing of a dice, okay, drawing some, say for example, drawing a ball from a box full of different colored balls randomly. Then say for example, even something like weather. Yes, it depends on chance. To a large extent, weather can be predicted, but still it depends on chance. So yes, weather forecasting you can also consider as a random experiment. So random experiment, that means if you see the formal definition as given in our study material, an experiment can be described as a random experiment that produces certain results, which is called events. So please note that an experiment, coin tossing is an experiment. So if I just write like this, so that you quickly grasp the meaning of these terms. So I can write that an experiment ultimately results in an event. Okay, an experiment results in an event. Experiment is what? Throwing of a dice. Okay, flipping a coin. That is an experiment. The work is called an experiment. What outcome it will give you, that is called event. So for example, if it is coin, I'm just drawing a coin here. Say if it is a coin, okay, it can either have head or tail. So it can have two events. Experiment is what? Coin tossing, tossing a coin. What are the events? The two possibilities, either head or tail. Similarly, if I draw a dice, okay, I'm just drawing a dice here. Say 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, like this. If I draw a dice, throwing a dice is an experiment. What will be the event? The event can be either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. That means there can be 6 possible events. So I can say in very simple terms, event, if you see here, event is nothing but the outcome. Okay, I can just write it as outcome. Event is the outcome of an experiment. Okay, so if experiment is the input, the output is the event. So like, please see what is written on the slide. Now this is from the study material. So if you look at the study material language, very easy, lucid, and easy to, quickly you will be able to grasp. Language is very simple. If a coin is tossed, that means it's an experiment. We get 2 outcomes. What are the outcomes? Head or tail. Now, it is impossible to say in advance whether we are going to get a head or tail. So it is random. It depends on chance. Similarly, the results or outcomes of a random experiment are known as events. And events can be sometimes combination of different outcomes. So experiment leads you to an event. Experiment is the cause, event is the effect. Experiment is the input, event is the output. Okay, so please remember these two. That's why I was drawing this to show you that the outcome of an experiment is an event. Now, if you look at the next very important part, that is mutually exclusive events. So now we can see events means it is just an outcome. Event is nothing but an outcome of an experiment. So therefore you can see, yes, there is one question. Charan has written, even cricket is an experiment because 3 events. Yeah, win, draw, or loss. Yes, absolutely. Cricket match is an experiment. I was giving the example, what is the chance that India will win? Or in case of a T20, a particular franchise is going to win. Similarly, there's one observation from Vinayak. I have started investing in stock market. Will it help me in your further journey? Well, it will definitely help you. It may help you, but then investing in the stock market is subject to certain risks and chances. So whether the share price is going to go up or not, there is a beautiful example we will solve. It came out in the CA mock test, a wonderful example on stock market. Please hold on, we will see that. Okay, so till now we have seen that what is probability? Probability is chance. Probability means it is the possibility. Probability means it is basically nothing but the odds in favor of an event. Also, we have observed that when there is a certain event, so you are sure it is going to rain tomorrow. That means probability is 100%. That means 1. 100% means 100 by 100. It is 1. So probability equal to 1 is the highest value, and probability equal to 0 is the lowest value. So probability is any number. It is not an integer number. The minimum range is 0. The maximum is from 0 to 1. 0 to 1. Okay. So therefore, we can say that it is ultimately going to be a fraction. So probability cannot be more than 1. Probability, can it be negative? No, probability cannot be negative also. It has to be a positive number. It's a fractional number ranging from 0 to 1. And when a probability is equal to 1, we say it is a certain event. And when probability equal to 0, then we will call it definitely an answer. I mean, we will call it a totally impossible event. It's not going to happen. Okay. So now, so mutually exclusive means that two events, mutually exclusive, it is also known as incompatible. Now, what do you mean? What do you mean by compatible? Compatible means whether two people can stay together, compatibility. Okay, two companies working together, compatibility. If they can coordinate, compatibility means coordination. Now, incompatible means two events cannot take place together. In other words, a set of events. So what is an event? Event is an outcome of an experiment. Okay, please see this. Event is an outcome of an experiment. So a set of events is said to be mutually exclusive if not more than one of them can occur simultaneously. Please note the underlined line in the portion which is underlined in the first paragraph in this particular slide. So we can say, okay, there are some more examples. Let me take this. Yes. Neha Naveen has written, is election a probability? Yes, very much. You have given a beautiful example. Yes. Hockey is an experiment. Ujjwal Mandilwar. Yes. Hockey is an experiment. Any game will be. Football is also a risk game. Yes. You may win or lose. Ash Babu has written. Yes. So, yes, it cannot be negative. Arzu, you are right. It cannot be negative. Now, question is, Kanishka Sharma is asking why probability is not more than 1. See, the maximum you can say is 100%. 100%, 100, you appear for an exam, 100 marks. Why not 200? Why not 400, 100 marks? So we always calculate percentage on 100. Okay. So if I say it is 50%, we always write 50 by 100. And 100 by 100, that is the highest. When we say it is a certain event, that means we say 100%. Now I'll give another example. Since you are all young people, you are watching so many movies, okay, on the OTT platform, especially in the last 1.5 years. So without the OTT platform, life will come to zero. We can't live without OTT platform and the smartphone. Now, if I ask you, what is the probability that a movie which is coming out will be a hit? Can we say it is an experiment? Yes. A movie, whether it will be a hit or a flop in the box office, is also a game of chance. So I'm sure, being young people, you are watching number of movies. You must have seen, even, I'm not taking names of any movies, but you must have seen even certain movies where a person who is known as the perfectionist. Okay, I hope you are understanding. I'm referring to a great personality who is known as the perfectionist. Even in one particular movie where he was the lead role, the movie did not do well. So it's a game of chance. There are a number of movies in which the biggest blockbuster hero of Indian movie, Bollywood, say the big B has acted, but maybe it's not a certainty that it will be a blockbuster hit. So the presence of certain great, legends of Bollywood does not always mean that the movie will be a hit. So it is, yes, it could be seen as an experiment, just as you have written that, yes, examination is also an experiment, right? So please note that, yeah, Gajendra Sharma, I'm sorry, I have explained, we cannot speak in Hindi. Absolutely, we can't explain in Hindi. The Board of Studies rules are very strict. Any person not speaking in Hindi is not following the rules. That is all I can tell you. So we have to stick to English. That is the usual formal language to be followed as per the rules given by the Board of Studies. Once I'm saying any person who deviates or speaks in any other language is not following the rules. But we cannot break the rules. We are chartered accountants, we are professionals, we have to follow English. I hope you will also improve your English so that you understand what I'm saying. So election, yes, it's also an experiment. Okay. Yes, many of you got it right. MD Sarfaraz, yes, you got it right. So you can see even in the, now if you're a movie producer, you are a production house. Now you think not only about movies, think of the TV, the media. You have so many blockbuster shows which are there. So what is the probability that a blockbuster show hosted in a prime time at 9 p.m. in a national TV channel, will it be a hit? The media industry, believe me, they use probability in a very, very serious manner, because for them probability is everything. Accordingly, they will decide what content to give in the channel, what type of story to write. So you see, this is again a type of chance. Okay. There's one question from Manisha Tahilani. Does forecasting or probability always goes correct in practical life? Lovely question, lovely question. No, my dear friend, no. Probability at best gives you an assessment, but the real situation may be different. But then if you ask, this is a lovely question you have asked, if you ask over a period of time, whether the probability will hold good, answer is yes. That means if you later on go, I'm not going into the next chapter is some theoretical distribution, you will see that a number of events, if it takes place where the given probability is already, it's given to you, the probability of occurrence of an event is given. Then if you consider a huge number of experiments, the same experiment, say coin tossing, 100 coins are tossed. Yes, in that case, the probability number of heads falling will slowly approach to half, that is 0.5. So ultimately, you can see that you have to follow the principle. In real life, it may not hold good or not. Or, I mean, when you think of a micro level, 1 or 2 experiments, it may not hold good. But when you think of a number of experiments, number of random experiments, definitely it is going to be, it is going to hold good. It will be practically possible to enumerate, and it helps in forecasting. Definitely, because in case of forecasting, as you saw in the study material, the word forecasting is given. Now, financial forecasting means you are forecasting the trend, revenue of a company. How will the sales increase? Okay, how will the cost increase? What will be the profitability of the company? What is the probability that the share price will go up to so and so level? Everything is ultimately a game of chance. But yes, on a long term, the probability estimates will definitely be very similar to what happens in real life. Okay. Then Pooja has said cooking any food for the first time is also probability. There is no certainty. Yes, it could be also seen as a game of chance. And you see so many games of chance, throwing a dart, for example, game of chance. In a reality show, for example, so many games of chance, each has a probability, right? And we will see, this is also a very interesting discussion, because you will see that there are 2 types of probability. Slowly you will see conditional probability and a situation where 2 events do not depend on each other. So there will be 2 situations we will see. So mutually exclusive means that if I get a head, I will not get a tail. So not more than 1 event can take place simultaneously. When you are throwing a die, it has 6 surfaces. If you get 3, now if I throw this die, the topmost you can see is 3. That means 3 means that only 3 will come. The top surface will not have 4 or 5 or 1. So only 1 outcome is possible. Here, 1 outcome, if you see, there are possibilities, 6 of them can happen. But once 3 has happened, 3 and 4 cannot happen simultaneously in a single throw of a dice. Similarly, when you are flipping a coin, head or tail, head and tail will not take place. So therefore, you can see this is a question of or. Mutually exclusive means more than one event cannot take place. Okay, simultaneously. Now we have exhaustive events. Please note exhaustive events. So in case of exhaustive events, now what is the meaning of exhaustive? Exhaustive means when you say that if you tell that, okay, if you tell your friend that, look, mathematics and statistics, I am doing exhaustively. I am studying exhaustively. That means you are studying everything. That means you are studying all possible chapters, all possible questions. That is called exhaustive. exhaustive preparation. Now, exhaustive event means what? Exhaustive event means any of these events must necessarily occur. That means when I'm flipping a coin, either head or tail will come. When I'm throwing a dice, either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 will come. So any of these events must occur, necessarily occur. So if there is an exam, for example, either I fail or I lose. If there is a cricket or any match, hockey, football, it can be either a draw, it can be a win, it can be a loss. Okay. So you can see there are 3 possibilities. One of them has to occur. So that is exhaustive. Lastly, we have equally likely events. So events will be equally likely when the chance of one event is equal to the chance of the other event. That means this is possible when, if I can give the example of the coin, when you flip a coin, you get either head or tail, and each of them are equally probable, equally likely. So they are equally likely events because each has a probability of 1 by 2, that is half. When I am throwing a dice, there are 6 outcomes. Each of them have equal chance. The probability of getting 1 is also 1 by 6. The probability of getting 5 is also 1 by 6. Okay. So therefore, this is called, these are 3 important concepts: mutually exclusive, which means not more than one event can occur simultaneously. Then we have exhaustive events. Exhaustive events means one of these events, one of the possible events must necessarily occur. And the third is when 2 events are equally likely. They are known as, that equally likely means when they have the same probability, the equal probability, they are known as equally likely events. Okay. So now the definition and the formula. Okay. So formula, that means, is the number of events divided by the number of outcomes. So therefore, we can say that it is nothing but a fraction. That means a fraction has a denominator and numerator and denominator. Yes, one of you have written, can we say, Chavi has written, can we say the tossing of a coin? Yes, the events. Tossing of a coin is an experiment. The events are definitely mutually exclusive and exhaustive. Because if head happens, tail will not happen. That means they're mutually exclusive. And they're exhaustive. Why? Because either head or tail has to happen. There is no third possibility. Okay. So they are mutually exclusive and exhaustive. So the formula is very simple. It's a fraction, event by number of outcomes. So if we look at the definition from the study material, just let us see the detailed, study material, what our study material is saying. So the study material says the classical definition of probability, it is also called a priori definition. So there is a random experiment. Okay. There are n events. And there are n events. That means event is the outcome of an experiment. So what is the probability of a particular event which is favorable to event A? Okay. So the probability formula will be number of equally likely events which are favorable to A and total number of equally likely events. So let us take a small example. Now I'm just rubbing this and I'm just taking a very simple example. So let us take the same example of flipping of a dice, throwing a dice. Okay. So now if I say that if you are throwing a dice, okay, you are throwing a dice like this. Okay. Okay. 5, this is 4, and say this is 1, whatever. You're throwing a dice. Now, if you get 4 or 5, then you will get, say, a reward. You will get a reward. Say you will get a cash reward. Okay. If you get 4 or 5, that means this getting 4 or 5 is your favorable event, which is A. This is your favorable event, which is A. Okay. Now, what is the probability? Please see the formula. I'm just following the formula given in the slide. So I will write probability of A. Fine. Please see the numerator, number of equally likely events favorable to the event A. So in my example, if I get 4 or 5, then I will get a reward. That means it is favorable to me. If I get 1, 2, 3, 6, I will get nothing. So if I get 4 or 5, then only I will get a reward. So I will write, there are 2 cases which are favorable, so I will write 2 in the numerator. Now please go to the denominator. Total number of equally likely events. How many total number of equally likely events are there? When you are throwing a dice, there are 6 possibilities. So I will write 2 by 6. So I cancel, it becomes 1 by 3. So the probability that the event or the probability of a favorable event A is given by 1 by 3. So this is that simple. Okay, just understanding it's a formula, simple formula. It's a fraction, numerator and denominator. The maximum value can be 1. That means a certain event. The minimum value is 0, which means it is nothing but an impossible event. And the events can be 3 types. Mutually exclusive. That means if head happens, tail will not happen. And exhaustive. That means head and tail, either head or tail will happen. A third possibility is not possible. And lastly, we have equally likely, which means equally likely means that the possibility of the probability of the 2 events are same. Okay. So finally, the formula looks like this, because now we have considered these 3 terms: mutually exclusive, exhaustive, and equally likely. So the formula now looks like this. In the numerator, we have the number of mutually exclusive, exhaustive, and equally likely events which are favorable to A. In this case, if I throw 4 or 5, then I get a reward. So it is favorable to A. So 2, and they are mutually exclusive, because if 4 happens, 5 will not happen. If I get 5, I will not get 4. So any one of them. So 2 by 6. Okay. So this is the formula. Now we will look at complementary event. So when probability A is equal to 0, we will call it an impossible event. Okay. And when probability is 1, it is a sure, 100% certain, sure event or a certain event. Okay. There's one question: is forecasting and probability same? Manisha has asked this question. Probability, the forecasting is based on probability, but to do forecasting, you also need to know the trend of the past trend. And I think you have a chapter initially in time series. Now I think time series has been removed probably, but then in time series you can learn about trend and different type of ratios to understand the background of the variable, the nature of the variable, say whether it's increasing or decreasing, if increasing in what proportion, if decreasing, or if it is constant. So you can know the trend analysis, right? Based on that, we do the forecasting, but then for forecasting, we definitely look at probability. Okay, fine. So now, yes, now a very important point, because you get questions on this, and some people have some confusion in this: odds in favor of event and odds against. So let me just write it and explain this. Number of questions have come in the exam based on this particular concept, which you can see, formula 16.5 from the study material. Now, please note the ratio of number of favorable events to the number of unfavorable events is known as odds in favor of the event A. Now, if I say that 7:5, that means the ratio of the number of favorable events to the number of unfavorable events, 7:5. Say this is the odds in favor of a movie being a hit. Okay, I'm writing movie hit. So 7:5 is, try to see, this is the odds in favor of the movie that it will be a hit movie. So if somebody asks you from this, many questions have come. So somebody asks you from this that what will be the probability, okay, that it will be a hit movie. So the probability will be P is equal to 7 divided by 7 plus 5, so 7 by 12. And conversely, we can say that so this is a probability of hit. So I'm writing probability of pitch. The probability of a flop, okay, PF is therefore 1 minus 7 by 12, that is 5 by 12. Okay, from here also you can find out the probability of a flop will be what? 5 divided by 5 plus 7, that is 5 by 12. Okay, so both ways you can find out. This is the concept of odds in favor of an event and odds against the event. Okay. So in this particular slide, you can see the probability ratio. If the probability is 0, it is called an impossible event. Then Rangana is asking, in ICAI material, deleted syllabus is printed or not? You have to check, because I am following the soft copy. I do not have the printed version. Okay, I don't have the hard copy. Okay, you have to check the hard copy. Okay. Yes, MD Sarfaraz is saying if we have to collect the data of probability, we have to apply observation. Yes, we have to apply observation method. For forecasting, you definitely have to apply observation method. Once you know the probability of success, probability of probability of getting say higher profit, okay, and a lot of factors will depend. And forecasting is a major area which you will see. Okay, so here you can see the probability ratio. 0 means impossible. If I say the probability of passing my foundation exam is 0.25, that means practically I am not working hard. If I tell you that, friends, my possibility of passing CA foundation is 0.25, that means you know, oh, this person is not going to pass. It is unlikely. But if I say that it is 75% that I will pass, so I will say it is likely. And if you say, I fully expect that all of you will tell me that, yes, we have a probability of 1 passing the CA foundation exam. That means you are fully certain, 100% certain. So this will be seen as a certain event. Okay. Okay. Now let us see some illustrations. A coin is tossed 3 times. We are going to some of the illustrations in the study material. So a coin is tossed 3 times. What is the probability of getting 2 heads? So let us understand the working out, and then we will take a number of problems from the exercises as well as from the mock test paper. A coin is tossed 3 times. What is the probability of getting 2 heads? And the second question is at least 2 heads. So please note the solution. Now, when a coin is tossed 3 times, what is the probability of getting 2 heads? So first we are trying to find out the probability of getting 2 heads. Now please see the slide. The possibilities can be HHH. That means the coin is tossed 3 times. Each time you get a head. It can be head, head and tail. It can be head, tail, head, HTH. Then HTT, head, tail, tail. Then it can be THH, tail, head, head. It can be tail, head, tail, THT. TTH, or it can be all 3 can be tails, TTT, right? The point is the number of elementary events. Events means outcomes. How many possibilities if you count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 possibilities are there. Out of these 8 possibilities or 8 outcomes or 8 events, 2 heads. Our question was 2 heads. Now 2 heads is taking place in how many cases? Either HHT, HTH and THH, 2 heads. Therefore, the probability is 3 by 8 because there are 3 favorable cases and the total number of possible cases is 8. Therefore, the probability is numerator by denominator 3 by 8. I hope this is an easy one. You have understood. Next question is at least 2 heads. So this is a bit of a confusion. At least 2 heads. That means it can be 2 heads. It can be more than 2 heads. So there are 2 possibilities. In fact, there are 2, you can say 2 experiments as if. So it can be either 2 heads or it can be 3 heads. Now, that means in this case, what will happen is 2 heads can occur in how many ways? We have already seen the last slide. 2 heads can occur in 3 possible ways. Okay, 3 possible ways. And one more incident can happen, one more possibility can happen, that is getting 3 heads. 3 heads can take place in only one situation, HHH. That is one event where you get 3 heads. Therefore, the solution that at least 2 heads is given by 3 plus 1, that is 4 cases, and the total number of possible cases is 8. So by the classical definition of probability, which talks about the number of favorable events, which are mutually exclusive, which are exhaustive, which are equally likely, divided by the total number of mutually exclusive, exhaustive, and equally likely events. If you apply the classical definition, you get the answer is 4 by 8, that is half. Okay. Now, once again, I'm explaining mutually exclusive. So mutually exclusive, Rajashri, yes, please note mutually exclusive. Okay, please note mutually exclusive means any one of them has to occur. In other words, you know, if one takes place, the other will not take place. So more than one event cannot take place simultaneously. Now you cannot have either it's, say, if either I'm appearing for the exam, say either it's passing the exam or failing. So either or, you cannot have pass and fail together. So that means it's a mutually exclusive event. Exhaustive event means what? That there can be two possibilities and one of them must occur. Exhaustive means the total possible outcomes. Okay, so either fail or pass. When it is throwing of a dice, either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, one of them must occur. So it's an exhaustive event. Okay, so mutually exclusive and exhaustive. The next one, a dice is rolled twice. What is the probability of a difference of 2 points? This is also given in the study material. Dice is thrown twice. There are 6 faces. What is the probability of getting a difference of 2 points? So here, a dice, when it is thrown, it has 6 outcomes. So when you are throwing the dice twice, okay, when you're throwing the dice twice, what will happen? So if the dice is thrown twice, applying permutation 6 into 6, or we can call it 6 to the power 2, it is 36. So there can be 36 elementary events. Now the question is, you have to get a difference of 2 points. How will you get the difference of 2 points? Now please see the row here. First throw and the second throw. 6 and 4. If you get first dice comes to 6, second dice comes to 4. Difference is 2. In this way, all the possibilities are noted. So we can get a difference of 2 under how many conditions? So please note the number of possible or favorable events. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That means the number of favorable event is 8 and the number of possible event is 36. So we are getting probability 8 by 36, which means 4 2s are 8 and 4 9s are 36. So you get 2 by 9. Okay. So this is a quite simple, very simple question. And difference between 2 is, this is how we calculate difference between 2. Now, what is the chance? Now, this question has come many times, not just in the examination, in the mock test examination, but it's also there in the study material in the exercise. Now, what is the chance of picking a spade or an ace not from a spade from a pack of 52 cards? So here we have to note that a pack of 52 cards will have 13 spades. It will have 13 hearts, 13 clubs, and 13 diamonds. So many of you may not be playing cards and may not be knowing, but to deal with these type of questions, you need to know the number of spades and hearts and clubs and diamonds in a pack of 52 cards. So exactly there are 13 each. Okay. So 13 spades, 13 hearts, 13 clubs, and 13 diamonds. And each of these groups of 13 cards will also have an ace. So in this example, the total number of elementary event is 52. Now, what is the chance of picking a spade out of a pack of 52 cards? So spade or an ace, not from a spade. So if I draw a card out of 52 cards, I can draw it in 52 ways. So the total number of possible events is 52. Total number of possible events is 52. And now here the total number of elementary or possible events is 52, out of which 13 plus 3 are favorable. So the ace in the 13 spades is treated as a spade. So therefore we get the formula 13 plus 3, 16 by 52, which is 4 by 13. So example 16.4, please practice and please go through the note, important note which I've given regarding the type of constitution of the cards. I mean, how many how many cards are spades and how many cards are hearts, how many are clubs and all. So you have to understand that, and then you can solve this problem. This is a very simple problem. Again, the basic definition of probability is used to find out the total number of possible events, that is 52, and how many are favorable to us. So 13 plus 3, so 16. Now we will take a more difficult one. A committee of 7 members is to be formed from a group comprising 8 gentlemen and 5 ladies. What is the probability that the committee would comprise 2 ladies and at least 2 ladies? Now, first is a committee of 7 members is to be formed from a group of 8 gentlemen and 5 ladies, 7 members. So the first question is at how many ladies would be there? 2 ladies. So please note, 7 members are being formed from a group of 8 gentlemen and 5 ladies. So you have 13 persons, 8 plus 5, 13 persons. Now, a committee is formed from these 13 persons, taking 7. And this is a question of combination, 13C7. And you know the factorial sign, you know 13C7. I think you remember. Just a quick recap. You may remember that NPR is equal to factorial n minus r factorial. But if I say NCR, okay, NCR equal to n factorial divided by n minus r factorial, and then we will also add r factorial. Okay, so this is the formula of NCR. That means n objects taken r at a time, combination of n objects taken r at a time, NCR. So therefore, the formula which we use is here 13C7. 13 members, 13C7, and we get the number of ways. Now the question is, when the committee is formed taking 2 ladies out of the 5 ladies, the question is there will be 2 ladies in the committee. So what happens? What is the logic? When the committee is formed taking 2 ladies out of 5 ladies, there are 5 ladies and 7 gentlemen. What will happen? The remaining 7 minus 2, 5 committee members have to be selected from 8 gentlemen. So if I need to have, right, please see the problem. If I need to have 2 ladies in the committee and the total number of committee is 7 members, that means I will have 5 gentlemen. Now I already have 8 gentlemen here. So 8C5. So now 2 of them can be selected. First of all, the ladies will be selected from 5 ladies. So this can be done in how many ways? It can be done in 5C2. This is selection of the ladies, 5C2. 5 ladies are there. I need 2 ladies in the committee. So 5C2. Okay. Please just work along with me, and I hope you'll get it. Then comes the next question. The gentlemen can be selected in how many ways? How many gentlemen are there? 8. I need how many gentlemen? To form the committee, I need 2 ladies and 5 gentlemen. Okay, so 5 gentlemen can be selected in 8C5 ways. So I have 5C2, 8C5. Okay, and this is definitely a multiplication case. So I'm getting the total number of ways, that is 10 into 56. 10 into 56 divided by the denominator which came, that was 13C7. So this comes to 140 by 429. If you just work it out, 140 by 429. Okay. Yeah, in the last question, Vishnu Dev is asking why 3 is added. I think in that card problem, once let me go back. Now in the card problem, the 3 is added because each of the question was, what is the chance of picking a spade or ace not of a spade? Okay, so the ace can be from the hearts, it can be from the club, or it can be from the diamond. So 3 cases, that is why plus 3 is added. Okay. Now, if there are at least 2 ladies, that also we can solve. At least 2 ladies means it can be, the population can be, it can be 5 ladies. Now, sample will be what? It can be 2 ladies, 5 gentlemen. At least 2 ladies. That means more than 2 is also possible. 3 ladies and 4 gentlemen. 4 ladies and 3 gentlemen, or 5 ladies and 2 gentlemen, and you just need to work out the combination. And therefore, you can get it in this way: 5C2 into 8C5 plus 5C3 into 8C4 plus 5C4 into 8C3, all the possible combination. So you are getting 1568 ways. So the probability comes to 1568 divided by 13C7 and you get the answer. Okay, now we take the set theory, a quick recap of set theory. Now, you can remember we did this in, I think, the Venn diagram, okay, in sets. We had two sessions, one on sets, the other one was on relations and functions. Now, two events, A and B, are mutually exclusive. That means if I just write in the set notation, this is important for our understanding and to solve other numericals. Now, two events A and B will be mutually exclusive only when if A happens, B cannot happen. If B happens, A cannot happen. That means it is like this. The two events will be like this. There is no intersection. There is no intersection. So if this is A and this is B, there is no intersection. No common point. You cannot have A and B together. They are joined, but they do not intersect. So I can easily write P A intersection B has to be equal to 0. If the event is mutually exclusive, then this condition has to be satisfied. There is no second thought. There is no hesitation to write. And if this is right, if this is correct, then please think of the basic formula we learned. A union B is equal to PA plus PB minus PA intersection B. Since A intersection B is 0, so I can cut this part. That means when events are mutually exclusive, PA union B will be equal to PA plus PB. That means the probability of A and A or B will be equal to probability of A and probability of B. Similarly, using the same logic, you can see the next line. PA union B union C will be equal to PA plus B, PB plus PC. And if three events are equally likely, that means three events equally likely means together they become 1, and therefore each of them has a probability of 1 by 3, that is 1/3. Okay, so this is the connection of this chapter with set theory. Okay, now calculation, one question from Chavi. Calculation of questions having large number will fetch much of our time. No, but you are using calculator. I don't think you will have problems in that, and it will not take so much of time. And sometimes the questions may not have large values also. Some questions you will find very intelligent, but working out is easy. Okay, the main point in the question is the intelligence which you have to apply, the logic which you need to apply. Otherwise, the calculation will be quite simple. So it's not that you will always have big numbers to deal with. Okay, so this we have done. Now we go to sample space. What is sample space? This is a related concept, sample space. Now, what do you mean by sample space? Now, sample space means very simple, the events of a random experiment. So if I write this, say I write throwing a coin, okay, tossing a coin. So I'm writing coin tossing. Sample space is I can call it a set of all possible outcomes. Coin tossing can only have head and tail. So this is the sample space. Sample space will give you the elementary event of a random experiment. Coin tossing is an experiment, event is this. So I will write experiment, EXP. This is column 1. And this I'm writing EVENT, that is event, column 2. First example, coin tossing. And this is nothing but sample space. So I'm also writing this is sample space. Sample space. Sample space means the set containing the possible outcomes. Okay, all the possible outcomes. So if I use another example, coin tossing, is it an experiment? Yes. What is the event? Events can be head or tail. And the combination of this event, head and tail, okay, gives you sample space. Now I'm throwing a dice. I'm rolling a dice. Okay, so number 2 is dice, DICE. Is it an experiment? Answer is yes. What will be the sample space? So the sample space is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. As simple as that. I am appearing for an exam. Okay, so exam. Fine. Two possibilities. There's no draw here. Either you pass or you fail. So the sample space is I'm writing P and F, either pass or fail. The fourth example, weather, either sunny or rainy. Okay. Yeah, there can be partially cloudy. We'll take that also. Chalo. So we have sunny, rainy, or cloudy. Okay. So weather will have, of course, I'm talking about normal conditions. Now, if you think of hill stations, there can be snow as well. Now, if I take normal plain land, okay, so it can be sunny, rainy, or it can be, say, cloudy. So the sample space, now weather calculation, is it an experiment? Yes. What are the possible outcomes? So I will write outcome S for sunny, R for rainy, C for cloudy, SRC. So it is a sample space. So this column which you see here, the column is the experiment column, this column is the event column, and together what we are writing is the sample space. So I think this is clear. So different examples are there. You can just go through that 16.5 example. You will get it. You will get full clarity on that. And the institute in the study material, there is a small example to show you sample space. Okay. This also we have seen two events A and B are mutually exclusive. We did it just a little while back. P A union B in that case will become PA plus PB. Similarly, if A, B, and C are mutually exclusive, that means P A union B union C will be the individual, the sum of the individual probability. Okay. Now, two events A and B are exhaustive when one of them has to happen. That means together they are equal to 1. Similarly, three events are exhaustive when P A union B union C equal to 1. That means one of them, exhaustive means what? Any outcome other than these three will not happen. That means one of them has to happen, and together they form the complete set. Exhaustive means what? Together they form the possible events, the possible outcomes that can happen. Other than these three, there is no chance of another event happening. Right. And three events are equally likely when we have the probability A is equal to probability B equal to probability C. So this is a very simple, we can say definitely very simple for our calculation and understanding. Yeah, Akash has asked, can cards is also an experiment? Yes, cards is an experiment. Absolutely. That's why this example was also there. Right. Calculators, yes, you have to use calculator. Shonaya, yes, calculators will be your biggest weapon, as you rightly said, yes, and use of calculator and the shortcuts are important. Okay. Now, this is a beautiful question which has come. I will request all of you to please flag this question 16.8. Very, very, very important. It has come many times. And I can also tell you it has come repeatedly in multiple mock tests, and therefore very, very important for the exam. It's a beautiful question from the Board of Studies. Three events A, B, C are mutually exclusive, exhaustive, and equally likely. Some people ask that, sir, do we need to understand mutually exclusive concept, exhaustive and equally likely? Sir, will theory question come? Very common query, very common query. My answer is direct theory question may not come. But indirectly, if you look at this example 16.8, the theory question has come, but in a twisted manner. Okay, so you have to be intelligent and you have to understand the concept of mutually exclusive, exhaustive, and equally likely. The beautiful question says A, B, and C are mutually exclusive, exhaustive, and equally likely. They have given all the hints in the first sentence. The institute is asking you, what is the probability of the complementary event of A? Now, what is complementary event? Very simple. As I took number of examples, I have say a movie which is coming up. You feel that there is a 80% chance that the movie will be hit. Movie will have a blockbuster hit in the box office. Okay, huge collections in the box office, very good rating. So I can write movie probability of hit. H means hit is 8. You have 80%. You are saying so 8 by 10 or 0.8. What is the complementary event? Complementary event means what is the opposite? What is the probability of the opposite? So I can write complementary event PH dash is equal to 1 minus 0.8. That is 0.2. So complementary event PA dash is equal to 1 minus probability of PA. As simple as that. That means it is the probability of the other event which can happen, complementary event. So here the question is, very systematically the question has given the facts in the first line. 3 events ABC are mutually exclusive. Very good. They are mutually exclusive. That means I can derive the equation. They are mutually exclusive. That means it is clear that P A intersection B intersection C is 0. Similarly, P in A intersection B is 0. And B intersection C is 0, A intersection C is 0. So the formula becomes PA union B union C. This is just equal to PA plus probability of B plus probability of C. Simple. Now it is said that they are exhaustive. Great. Exhaustive means what? That means together they become one. Okay. That means no other event can happen other than ABC. So I can write P A union B union C equal to 1. So I've got 2 equations. Plus now they are saying they are equally likely. Great, very helpful, very, very useful. So I can now write they are equally likely means PA equal to PB equal to PC. So the first equation, please note the first equation is the equation for mutually exclusive. The second equation is basically showing you the exhaustive nature. That means together the value is 1. And the third equation is telling you the equality. That means they are equally likely. So if I know that PA union B union C equal to 1, and I also know that probability of A equal to probability of B equal to probability of C, then I can easily write that 3 events together gives you 1 and each of them are same. So what is the probability of event A? I'll just write it here. Therefore, the probability of event A, PA, has to be 1 by 3. 3 of them are equal and 3 of them the total is 1. So each of them means what? 1/3. So if the probability of event A is 1/3, the question is what is the probability of the complementary event of A? So if the probability of A is 1/3, then probability of A dash equal to 1 minus 1 by 3, that is 2 by 3. So the answer should be 2 by 3. Let us see the reasoning. So this is a very, very important question, and for a number of times it has come in different mock tests. So this is exhaustive. You can see P union B union C. Therefore, together they are equal to 1, which means probability of A is 1/3, and therefore the complement is 2 by 3. Okay. Now there are some additional theorems which are naturally following, and you can just check 16.9. I think it will be easy to understand, because now we know the important relation, what happens when 2 events are mutually exclusive, 2 events are equally likely, and when 2 events are exhaustive in nature, right? So this simple example is given based on these 3 parameters which we have already discussed. Now let us take the next question. A coin is tossed thrice. What is the probability of getting 2 or more heads? Coin is tossed 3 times. Now, what will be the sample space? So here you see we are using the application of sample space. Sample space means a space which gives you the possible outcomes or the possible events. Now, if a coin is tossed 3 times, a coin is tossed thrice, question asks you probability of getting 2 or more heads. That means you can get 2 heads and 3 heads, 2 or more. Now, what are the possibility? HHH, HHT, HTH. So you can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 possible ways. Now, here the question is 2 or more head. 2 or more head means 2 head, how many times you are getting? You are getting 2 heads in how many events? It can be HHT, HTH, and THH. So you are getting 3 chances. And 3 heads you are getting in 1 chance. Therefore, the answer is 3 by 8 plus 1 by 8. And therefore, the answer is 4 by 8, which is 0.5. So this is just an application of the sample space concept and the application of PA union B, which is equal to PA plus PB. So this is also a fairly simple question. Acha. Next is this union and addition we have done. we have already checked that two events will be mutually exclusive. That means P A intersection B is 0. Okay, we have already checked it. Now this is a classic question again. The probability that an accountant's job application has a BCom degree is 0.85. That is a CA is 0.3 and that is both BCom and CA is 0.25. How many would be BCom or CA? Very, very, very important question. Depends totally on the formula which we have discussed. A great question for you to practice and important for the exam. So let us try and solve it. The question says the probability that an accountant's job applicant has a BCom degree is 0.85. Accountant's job applicant has a BCom degree is 0.85. Okay. Now let us write down the probability. So question is, the event that the applicant is a BCom is denoted by B. So BCom, B for BCom, B for BCom. And the person that he is, the person is a chartered accountant, CA, is denoted by the word, the probability is PC. So the event is denoted by C. Okay. Now the question is, let us check. So it is given that the probability that he is BCom, that is PB is 0.85. Okay. Now, the probability that he is a chartered accountant, that means PC, is 0.3. Now, the probability that is both BCom and CA is 0.25. So both BCom and CA means B intersection C. So it is given 0.25. Now the question is, out of 500 people, 500 applicants, how many would be BCom or CA? So how many would be BCom or CA? The probability that an accountant's job is a BCom, that an applicant is having a BCom is 0.85. He is a CA is 0.3, and he is both BCom with CA is 0.25. So how many would be BCom or CA? So this is a question basically on the formula, and the formula is what? P A union B. Because the question is how many would be BCom or CA. That means A or B. That means A union B. Now the question is how to find out the formula, how to derive the result. So let us first check. Let us first check what is the given data. Okay, and let us try to frame the formula and then the answer. Now please note here that the event, okay, the solution is given, you can see the solution, but let us also try to understand the process. The understanding is important. So PB is given 0.85, only BCom, only CA is 0.3, and BCom and CA 0.25. So we have to find out PB union C. That means either a person is BCom or the person is CA. Okay, so PB union C. Now this can be obtained by the formula PB, you know, this is PB plus probability of C minus probability of B intersection C. So this can be added 0.85 PB plus probability of C, that is 0.3, minus the probability that the person is both BCom and CA. What is the chance? What is the probability? It is 0.25. So I'm writing 0.25. So if you add it up, you will get 0.90, 0.85 minus 0.25, that is 6.60 plus 30, 0.90. So 0.90 is the probability. And now we have 500 applicants. So how do you find out the number of applicants? It is clearly 500 into 0.90, that gives you 450. So the expected frequency comes to 450. Some of you have got it right. Very good. Okay. Theorem we have done. This is also 16.14 is also a direct application of the theorem, very similar to the one we have discussed. Okay. Now we come to compound probability, joint probability or compound probability. So two events will be occurrence of the two events, okay, simultaneously will be a case of compound probability. Now say one of the event is passing the exam, and one of the event is, the second event is getting a good job. Now, if I don't pass the exam, I may not get a good job. So here, these two events are linked with each other. If you pass an exam, you will get a cash reward. Say you are a topper, you get a reward. But here, the event of getting a reward depends on the event of passing the exam. So these are, you can call it compound events, or they depend on each other. Okay, conditional. Now, here we have to look at one particular form or a particular way of writing. I'm just writing PB by A. This is a new way. This is a new, you can say, a new way of writing this joint probability concept. Probability of B by A means what is the probability of B given that event A has already occurred. So what is the probability of the event B given that event A has already occurred? So this notation of the way of writing is PB by A. So this is basically called joint probability, and the formula is very simple. PAB is equal to probability of A multiplied by probability of B by A. Otherwise, you can also write it as probability B multiplied by probability A by B. A by B means the probability of event A after considering that event B has already occurred. Okay, so this is the concept of joint probability, or you can say compound probability. Now, if we look at this question, this theorem, so PAB equal to PA into PB by A, PA into PB by A. Okay, now we will take, and for if you have three events also, it is the theorem 6 is given. So theorem 5, just note PA intersection B, or PAB if you call it, is equal to PA into PB by A. Okay, same thing can be extended for three events. Okay, but however, you may not get, most of the questions which have come are based on two events, PA intersection B, AB. Okay. Now, this is a beautiful question again, 16.15. Rupesh is known to hit a target in 5 out of 9 shots. Okay, 5 out of 9 shots. Yes, some of you have written, yes, Isra Zareen Mohammed. Studying hard is linked with passing the exam. Yes, so studying hard is an event. Passing the exam is an event. Okay, and then registration for IPCC is another event. Yes. Similarly, only after clearing one group of IPCC, you can appear for the articleship. Of course, unless you are from direct entry. So if somebody has passed foundation exam and the person passes at least one group of IPCC or intermediate, then only the person can start articleship. So the event of starting articleship depends on the event of passing at least one group of IPCC. I hope you can get it. Okay. So the event that a movie makes a hit is the first event. In that case, only the hero, right, or the best performer of the movie might get awards and rewards. Okay, so it has to be a hit movie also. Similarly, if a company does well in the financial performance, then only the share price will increase. So these are dependent events, or you can say joint probability or compound events. Okay. Now, question from Mr. Akash, how we know which formula is appropriate to solve the question? Now, the formula you will understand from the language of the question. Which formula to use, you will understand simply from the language of the question. Like we saw the last example, 3 events were mutually exclusive, 3 events were exhaustive, 3 events were equally likely. So we could easily create the formula and solve it. Now, here, this question definitely is a question on on conditional probability, as we will see. Now, Rupesh is able to hit a target in 5 out of 9 shots, and David is known to hit the target in 6 out of 11 shots. What is the probability that the target would be hit once they both try? So here you can see, if we assume that probability of Rupesh hitting the target is PA, so the probability is 5 by 9. The probability that David hits the target is probability PB. It is 6 by 11. Fine, very good. Now, here the question is PA intersection B we have to find. PA intersection B we have to find. Because we know that ultimately the question is, what is the probability that the target would be hit once they both try? So it is a question ultimately of finding out whether these two events are dependent events or independent events. That is the biggest question. So here the question is, Rupesh is hitting a target, David is also hitting a target. Can they influence each other when they throw? Answer is no, they are not dependent. For example, two independent events, passing an exam and India winning a particular match. Okay, they are independent, they cannot influence each other. Passing an exam and the weather condition on that day, cloudy or rainy, they are not related, so they are independent. Therefore, in this case, this particular question which you see here we will apply the formula using our logic. We will apply the formula of independent events. They are not joint events, they are not compound events. Therefore, if they were compound events, then we would have used the formula PAB equal to PA into PB by A if they were compound events, if they were dependent. But since they are not dependent, we are using the formula PAB equal to PA into PB. And therefore, you can see that the formula comes out to 5 by 9. The PAB, if you see, comes out to 5 by 9 into 6 by 11, that is 10 by 33. And putting that value, we are getting the answer 5 by 9 plus 6 by 11 minus 10 by 33. So you get the probability. So this is also a very important question. Okay, now we will take the remaining questions. Let me first go to the MTP. I think MTP questions will follow after this. Achha, this is also a classic question. Mr. Roy is selected for 3 separate posts. Example 16.21. Now for the first post, there are 3 candidates. That means the probability of getting selected is 1 by 3. For the second, there are 5 candidates. And for the third, there are 10 candidates. What is the probability that Mr. Roy is selected? So there are 3 posts. Now there are 3 candidates for the first post. So the probability of getting selected is 1 by 3. For the second post, there are 5 candidates. So the probability of getting selected is 1 by 5. There is 5 possible ways. You have to be one of them. So 1 by 5. And for the third, there are 10 candidates. That means number of possible candidates or possible events is 10. You need to be 1 by 10, 1 out of 10. Now, therefore, what is the probability that Mr. Roy is selected? Now, we also know that this particular formula, that this is called De Morgan's law, one particular formula which we also learned in the set chapter. Now, this is a simple formula which we can see from the Venn diagram also. P probability of A union B union C is also equal to 1 minus probability of A union B union C dash. A union B union C dash. So we already know that this event is equal to 1 minus the probability of the complementary event. Complementary event is given by this dash. This dash shows it's a complementary event. Now, as per there is a law called De Morgan's law, which says that this is basically equal to 1 minus probability of A dash into probability of B dash into probability of C dash. So 1 minus probability of A dash into probability of B dash into probability of C dash. Now probability of A is 1 by 3. So I'm writing 1 minus probability of A is 1 by 3, probability of A. So the probability of A dash is how much? It will be 2 by 3. So I can write 2 by 3, A dash. Probability of B is given 1 by 5. So the complementary event, P probability of B dash is 4 by 5. And probability of C is 1 by 10. So if I find out the probability of the complementary event, it should become 9 by 10. So 3 3s are 9 and 2 5s are 10. So I'm getting 1 minus 12 by 25. 1 minus 12 by 25. So the answer should be 13 by 25. This is the probability that Mr. Roy would be selected. Okay. So this chapter has around 5 questions, you know. So yes, Venom Siddhartha, this chapter has around 5 questions. But then more questions could be expected. Because you know certain chapters are now removed. Okay. Okay. Acha. 39th question is also, we have done similar questions. We'll do similar questions in the exercises. Okay. Let us go to MTP now. So we start with the MTP. This is a very beautiful question. An investment consultant predicts that the odds against the price of a certain stock going up are 2/1 and odds are in favor of the price remaining the same are 1/3. So you can see this is a direct application of probability in the field of investment and stock market. Okay, and that's why I was telling you that the probability theory is very much used in the stock markets, and therefore we'll try to solve it out. So an investment consultant predicts that the odds against the price of a certain stock going up are 2/1. Okay, so let us try to understand this problem and we will try to solve it. Odds against the price of a certain stock going up are 2/1. 2:1. Okay. So the odds against the price of a certain stock going up. So we can say that the probability that the price of a certain stock will not go up. Okay, probability of stock price not going up is given by 2 divided by 2 plus 1, that is 2/3. Number one. Now, what is the second question? And the odds are in favor of the price remaining the same is 1/3. Now the probability, the odds in favor of the price remaining the same, that means the probability that the price will remain same is given by how much? Is given by 1/3. That means I can say 1/3 means 1 divided by 1 plus 3, that is 1/4. So now the question is very simple. What is the probability that the price of the stock will go down? So you can see the probability of the stock price not going up is 2/3. This is a lovely, lovely question. So beautiful question from the Board of Studies. And this actually, you see, there is no question of, long calculations. So there is no question of any long calculations as such. This question is a very intelligent question. That's why we are doing this from the October 2020 MTP. And you don't have to deal with long numbers. Even you don't need calculator. In most of the problems we have done so far, there is virtually almost no need of any calculator. Now the question is, an investment consultant is predicting that the probability of stock price not going up. Stock price will not go up. That means what? That means two possibilities. Either the stock price will remain same or the stock price will go down. Now the probability that the stock price is same is 1/4. So what is the probability that the price of the share will go down? Very simple, total probability minus 1/4. So I hope you can see that the probability that the price will go down I'm saying, okay, is equal to 2/3 minus 1/4. Because here it is saying the probability of stock price not going up. The probability that the stock price will not go up, that means it can cover two situations. Stock price will not go up means what? Either stock price is same or stock price goes down. Now the probability that a stock price is same is already given. So the other possibility, the only other possibility is what? That the stock price will go down, and that is what we have to find. So we can do it just by a simple subtraction. 2/3 minus 1/4, it gives you 5/12. So I hope you have understood this. This is a lovely question and one of the best, questions we have seen. Okay. Now, one question, let me check. 2 plus 1. 2 plus 1. Why are you adding 2 plus 1? Who is asking? Rajashri. Rajashri, please note that this is the which I explained in the beginning. You can go back to that part of the video. So when it is given that odds in favor or odds against, so it is given that the odds against the price of a certain stock going up are 2/1. That means the price will not go up. What is the probability? 2/2 plus 1. If it is given m by n, then the probability is m divided by m plus n. M is to n. Here 2 is to 1. The probability you can see is 2 is to 1. That means it is 2 divided by 2 plus 1, m divided by m plus n. Okay, so I hope you have understood. Similarly, in the next part, the probability that the price remaining the same, it is given by 1 by it is given by 1:3. So therefore the probability comes to 1 divided by 1 plus 3, that is 1 by 4. Okay. So this is a very intelligent question. I hope you have understood. Now here you see the probability of going down. That means there are two chances, since it is given that the probability of the price will not go up. Now not going up means it can only have two consequences. First is the price is going down, and the second consequence can be that the price is remaining the same. So the probability that the price of the stock will go down has to be a difference of these two. Okay, so this is a very beautiful question and intelligent question, of course, but at the same time, please note, you hardly have to use a calculator. You can do it just orally also. You can just do it in the exam hall. Now the next question, what is the probability? So these are some questions which may not be there in the study material. Of course, exercise 16 questions we will take up tomorrow after we complete the mathematical expectation, and of course we shall complete the type of variables, discrete variable and continuous variable. Now in this part of the question number 79 from the MTP question October 2020, what is the probability of getting neither? So I have made it bold so that it will catch your kind attention. Neither total of 7 nor 11. Neither total of 7 nor 11 when a pair of dice is tossed. So this is an intelligent question. You can see not much of calculation. What is the probability of getting neither total of 7? Now the MCQ, it's an MCQ exam, you know, so 4 alternatives are given. What is the probability of getting neither total of 7 nor 11 when a pair of dice is tossed? Pair of dice. Okay. So the pair of dice, we will take it in this way. So let me just work it out. Intelligent question and very, very important for the exam. Looking at the intelligence level in these questions, like you saw the last question, right? So very intelligent, but very simple. Numbers are very simple, not much of calculation. Now the probability of, so I'm rolling 2 dice. So it can have 6 into 6, 36 ways. So what is the probability of getting neither total of 7 nor 11 when a pair of dice is tossed? So what can we do in this example? What can we do? Now let us try and first find out that what will be the possibility of getting 7 or 11. Let us try and find out. So how can you get, when you are throwing 2 dice, let me just draw a table. How can you get 7 or 11? Now the question is neither 7 nor 11. But first let us find out the complementary event, neither 7 or 11. What is the complementary event? The complementary event is getting 7 or 11. Okay, so let us try to see. How can you get 7 or 11? Now, when I'm throwing 2 dice, let us first find out 7, possibility of 7. So I'm writing 4, 3, 3, 4. First dice I'm getting 4, second is 3. 7, I'm getting total 7. 3 and 4 gives me 7. 2 and 5 gives me 7. 5 and 2 also gives me 7. 1 and 6, 7. 6 and 1, 7. Okay. So I've got certain, numbers here. I think there is no other way to get 7. Now comes 11. Again, I draw a particular table. 11 I can get only in 2 ways, either 6, 5 and 5, 6. No other way to get 11. Just check. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm getting 8 possible ways. Please follow the working out which I have done on the whiteboard. So I can get 7 in how many ways? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 ways. Plus 2 ways, 6, 5 and 5, 6. I can get 11. So I'm writing 6 plus 2, 2, 8. That means to get 7 or 11, please note what I'm saying very carefully. To get either 7 or 11. Okay. So let us assume that we have to get 7 or 11. The question, even though, is the opposite. They are asking What is the probability of neither getting 7 or 11? So let us assume that yes, we are trying to get 7 or 11. Now, let me check this answer here, that if I get 6 plus 2, 8, total 8 ways to get 7 or 11. That means the favorable case is what? 8 by 36. I cancel it by 4. 4 2s are 8, 4 9s are 36. So 2 by 9 is the probability of getting either 7 or 11. So my dear friends, it's a simple question of complementary event. What is the probability of getting neither total of 7 or 11? That means it will be 1, I'm writing it here, 1 minus 2 by 9. I hope you can see it. 1 minus 2 by 9, that is 7 by 9 is the probability that it is going to be neither 7 nor 11. So it's a very intelligent application of probability theory, and here we have used the intelligent application of complementary event. I hope you have followed it. Okay, next MTP question we will take. Oh, this is one of the best questions I have seen. Thanks to the Board of Studies for giving us such lovely questions. What is the probability? And of course, you see the mathematics and logical reasoning statistics part. So the officers of the Board of Studies, the mentors, they are like the gurus, okay, who have prepared these questions, and just superb question. That's the only word comes to my mind. That's why I'm solving it. Just as you are getting the thrill of understanding, I am getting the thrill of working it along with you. Such lovely questions. Once again, please note, nothing to do with long calculations, plain simple intelligence. Now, this is a beautiful question. What is the probability that a leap year selected at random contains either 53 Sundays or 53 Mondays? Very important for the exam. A similar question also has come in April MTP. So this is a very humble submission from my side to please take this question and understand this question. The probability that a leap year selected at random contains either 53 Sundays or 53 Mondays. Now a leap year means what? 366 days. Okay, either 53 Sundays or 53 Mondays. Very good. Now leap year. So 364. Now how many weeks are there in a year? Let us just calculate. 52 weeks in a year. How many days are there in a week? 7 days. So 52 into 7, 364. Okay, fine. 364 days. But then the question is, a leap year selected at random contains either 53 Sundays or 53 Mondays. So 364 days. Okay, so I'm just writing like this. 364 days plus 1 and 2. Leap year. It is given leap year. Leap year means how many days? 366. So this is the 365th day and this is the 366th day, because it is ultimately a leap year. Okay, leap year. Classic question, classic problem. Now, what is the probability that a leap year at random contains either 53 Sundays or 53 Mondays? Now, if these two places have to be filled up, the combinations can be what? It is either Sunday or Monday. So if this is a Saturday and this is a Sunday, 365th day is Saturday, 366th day can be a Sunday, it can be a Sunday and Monday, it can be Monday and Tuesday, it can be Tuesday and Wednesday, it can be Wednesday and Thursday, it can be Thursday and Friday, it can be Friday and Saturday. We have taken all possible combinations: Saturday, Sunday, Sunday, Monday, Monday, Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Friday, Saturday. How many ways can you fill up these two gaps? 1, second way, third way, fourth way, fifth way, sixth way, and seventh way. 7 ways are there to fill up these gaps. Beautiful. I hope you have followed till now. 7 ways are there. Now, if you see, the question says 53 Sunday or 53 Monday. Now I'm using a different color, black color. 53 Sunday, let us tackle. 53 Sunday can take place when you have This combination Saturday, Sunday, so I'm getting a Sunday here. Sunday, Monday, I'm also getting a Sunday here. So I can say the probability of getting Sunday is 2 by 7. 2 cases out of 7 cases. I hope you have followed it. Next question is 53 Mondays. 53 Mondays, that means a Monday will fall in either here or here. What are the possibility? Sunday, Monday. Okay, so I'm circling Monday and Monday, Tuesday. Again, we have 2 by 7. So probability of A, that is Sunday, is 2 by 7. Probability of B, that is Monday, is 2 by 7. Now we have to see the probability of Sunday and Monday, that is PA plus PB minus PA intersection B. Now Sunday and Monday can take place in only one condition. So we will reduce, we will subtract that. So the formula becomes 2 by 7 plus 2 by 7. So PA plus PB minus P intersection B, that is 2 by 7 plus 2 by 7 minus 1 by 7. And that gives you 2 plus 2 is 4, minus 1 is 3, 3 by 7. So it's a very interesting problem and a very intelligent problem. This is the type of problem one can expect for the exam. And you can see, yes, Rangana has said it's interesting. Yes. Tejashvi, I hope you have understood. Okay, 3 by 7 is the answer. That means first what we have done, we have broken down the leap year. Leap year means 366 days. No question about it. So 364 days are over, 52 weeks are over, a new week is starting, and there are 2 days. So I have kept 2 blanks here, 2 boxes or 2 circles, and I am trying to place this week. 364 means what? 52 weeks are over. So now here from here, the 53rd week is starting from this line, from this date. So the week can start, any week can start, 53rd week. It can start with a Saturday, it can start with a Sunday, Saturday, Sunday. It can be Sunday, Monday, Monday, Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, and Friday, Saturday. If you count, there are 7 possible ways. But I need to know how many cases favorable for Sunday. So this can happen when we have Saturday, Sunday, Sunday, Monday. So 2 cases, 2 by 7. Similarly, for Monday, we have 2 options, Sunday, Monday, and Monday, Tuesday. So again, 2 by 7. But then we know the formula, PA union B is equal to PA plus PB minus PA intersection B. So A intersection B means here Sunday and Monday. Sunday and Monday. The question here is Sunday or Monday. That means Sunday and Monday has to be removed, has to be eliminated, has to be subtracted. So Sunday, Monday takes place in only one condition, one situation. So minus 1 by 7. So once again, you know, really congratulations to the Board of Studies for giving us such lovely questions. The next question is also very interesting. If A and B are 2 events such that PA is 1 by 4, PB is 1 by 3, and PA union B is half, then what is the value of PB by A? So here it's a question of conditional probability. Let us try to work it out and see. So this is a plain mathematics, and just, you know, yes, Shonaya, you have said, thanks. You have said that this is an extremely good question. Yes. So Tejashvi, I hope you have understood the question. The second time I explained. Okay. So PA and B are 2 events such that PA is 1 by 4, PB is 1 by 3. Chalo, let's write it down. Probability A is 1 by 4. Okay. Probability B is 1 by 3. And probability A union B. A union B is given half. Okay, fine. Now, what is the probability of P intersection P by A? Sorry, that means what is the probability of event B provided that event A has already taken place? Okay. Now, we will try to work it out. Now, see, if you see PA is given and PB is given. Okay. So, first of all, we will try to find out the value of PA and PB. We have to find the value of PB by A. Okay. Now, PA union B is also given. So we can find out the value of PA union B. So let us first, let us try to write this formula. Now, PA union B is equal to PA plus PB minus PAB. So this gives us 1 by 4 plus 1 by 3 minus x, that is PAB. This is equal to half. I think it is given half. So we can write x is equal to 1 by 4 plus 1 by 3 minus 1 by 2. That gives us 12. 4 3s are 12, 3 4s are 12 minus 6. So it gives us 1 by 12. So PAB comes to 1 by 12. Okay, just 1 second. I'll just rub this out. So using the formula, PA union B is equal to PA plus PB minus PA intersection B. If you just put the formula and the values, PA union B is given how much? Half, 1 by 2. PA is how much? 1 by 4. PB is how much? 1 by 3, and this we don't know. So if you just find out, it will come to 1 by 12. So if you know PAB, now you have to find PB by A. So we know that PAB is equal to PA into P of B by A. So PAB we know it is 1 by 12. PA also we know that is equal to how much? 1 by 4. PA is 1 by 4. Therefore, 1 by 12 divided by 1 by 4, that gives you 1 by 3 is the answer. PB by A equal to 1 by 3. So this is definitely another interesting question. Absolutely. Yes, Akash, good to see that. Practice will make it. Practice. Just try to understand. Okay. This is not a very serious topic, of course, light topic, and you can see just one formula we are using. Okay. Many are understanding, then why you can't understand? Something might be wrong from your side. Give more attention, try to understand it. So many people are writing the answers and they're understanding. Okay, this is the 81st question. Next, so we come today, we will close, and we have seen already the important definition. So we have taken all the questions which have come in the October MTP October. So once again, to recap, probability definition we have discussed. First of all, the probability is nothing but a chance. It can be described as a possibility. It can be described as the odds in favor of an event. And then we saw that every experiment gives rise to an event. An experiment can be coin tossing. An experiment can be something like, tossing of a dice. It can be like a movie also. It can be appearing for an exam. It can be weather, and it will have certain outcomes. These outcomes are known as events, and the events are of certain terms are there. So we discussed about what are mutually exclusive events. Two events are mutually exclusive when not more than one of them can occur simultaneously. So you cannot have head and tail together. You are throwing a dice, you cannot have 4 and 6 together, either 4 or 6 or 5 or 2. So that is mutually exclusive. Then we have looked at the concept of exhaustive events, which means one of them must occur. That means together they create an exhaustive set or a complete set. That means it is equal to 1. The probability of all these possibilities will add up to 1. And then the question comes that, okay, what do you mean by equally likely events? Equally likely events will be those events whose probability is same. So when we throw a coin, when we toss a coin, we have an equal probability of getting a head or getting a tail. It is equal to half. Then we took up the next understanding, and that was complementary event. And we have done a number of examples here to illustrate what is complementary event. If the probability of an event is 3 by 4, that is 75%, the complementary event probability will be 1 by 4, that is 25%. So 1 minus the probability of an event A gives you the probability of the complementary event, which is PA dash. Okay. Then we have taken up some solved examples, which we have analyzed the way in which the solved examples have been carried out. For example, we took examples 2 heads, at least 2 heads. Then we took committee example. Okay. Then we have taken examples like the one which says that either you are a BCom or CA, and a person who is both BCom and CA. Also, we took some very important formula. We analyzed the formula PA union B is equal to PA plus PB minus PA intersection B. Then we took up the important understanding of conditional probability. That means when one event has taken place, two events are, linked in such a way that the probability of the second event depends on the probability of the first event. So they are conditional events. So we use conditional probability, which is given by PA into PB by A. And PB by A means the probability of event B, assuming that event A has already occurred. Okay, PB by A. And thereafter, we have taken the questions and MTP May to October 2020, where we saw some really interesting questions, including the question, of course, card problems we have handled also. And we took some of the important questions like the leap year question, which I'm sure you will remember. And most importantly, please go through the exercises once again, the examples once again, see the video once again. And please remember, for this chapter, it's a very simple chapter. You just need to remember one formula. When you go to theoretical distribution, you will see, oh, there are so many formula. For example, binomial, one formula. Poisson, a totally different formula. Normal distribution, okay, the formula is quite big. But here, it's very simple. Numerator by denominator. The maximum value of probability is 1, minimum value is 0, so it has to be a fraction. And the only understanding, the only concept which you need to understand, I'm sure you have got it cleared, is mutually exclusive, that is exhaustive, and the third one, of course, is equally likely. And we did some problems on that, like the beautiful problem which was there in the MTP, that 3 events are equally likely. They are also exhaustive, they are also mutually exclusive. Since they are mutually exclusive, we can always write that PA union B union C is equal to PA plus PB plus PC. Since they are exhaustive, we can write PA union B union C equal to 1. And since they're equally likely, we can write probability of A equal to probability of B equal to probability of C. So from those 3, we could easily deduce, we could come to a conclusion that the probability of event A is equal to 1 by 3. And if it is 1 by 3, if probability of event A is 1 by 3, then we can easily understand that the probability of the complementary event has to be 1 minus 1 by 3, that is 2 by 3. Now, this chapter is very important because, it carries, some of you are asking about the number of questions, yes. So thank you, Janisha, for your remarks. Thank you, Madhu, Ria, thank you. Also, thanks to Nawazuddin, many of you have understood. This is a very simple, very simple chapter. Nawazuddin, Rangana, Sanjay, thank you, Harsh. Now, scientific calculator, Miss Teja has asked one question. Can we use scientific calculator? No, my dear friend. Please note the guidelines. I think you will find it in the Board of Studies website. Scientific calculators are not allowed. Calculators with, I think, up to 2 memories, 6 functions are allowed. And please note that the guidelines have to be followed, because in the exam hall, once you go, definitely if you carry any calculator of a different specification, you may not be allowed. So please follow the guidelines for the calculator. If time permits, later on, if we get some additional, because I just have one more, I think, one session with you, that is probability number 2, and probably one more session. So if we get some extra time, I'll also share the tips of using the shortcuts in the calculator, because you see, for repeated calculations, especially in chapters like time value of money, I don't know whether you have discussed about it, but if time permits, we will do that later on. And how many questions are coming? The question from Pooja is, how many questions are coming from this chapter? Well, looking at the trend, 4 to, like you see, I'll just go once again to the questions, just give me a moment. If I see MTP 2020, like this, the first question was on investment management, superb question, 1 question. Second question was 7 nor 11, 2 questions. Third question is leap year, 3 questions. Fourth question is PAB, what is PB by A equal to? So 4 questions are minimum expected. You can see it can be 5 questions because now 1 chapter is gone. And as sir was telling me in the beginning of the session, he shared with me that more questions can be expected, because this is not just an interesting chapter. If you see, I will conclude the session with one more point, which I discussed earlier. This chapter has wide applications in CA. And you can see, even in your study material, it is clearly mentioned that understanding of probability will help you in understanding, finally, forecasting techniques, financial forecasting, financial management, probability of default. A lot of things are there which you have to take up in your next level in IPCC and final. So this is the reason why I could just check 4 questions are bare minimum. It can go up to 5 or 6. But one more point, my dear friends, with which I will conclude is this chapter is vitally important, because unless I understand this chapter, I will not be able to understand the next chapter, which is binomial, Poisson distribution and normal distribution. Theoretical distribution chapter totally depends on the understanding of probability. That is why tomorrow we don't have much load tomorrow. It's a very relaxed way we are doing. In tomorrow's session, we will first start with a quick recap of probability, and then we will go into expectation and the type of variables. That is, we have continuous variables and we have certain variables, which are basically not continuous. That means it can take only predetermined values. Discrete, we call it discrete variables. And finally, we will go into the exercises from chapter 16A, B, C. And tomorrow, the last part will be March 2021 and April 2021 questions from the mock test paper, right? So that's how we will move. Please go through the study material once again. Please see the video once again if required. And please go through the examples which are solved. And please note the interesting MTP questions which we are doing. So with that, thank you. See you tomorrow. Take care and happy learning. Thank you.